From the moment we take our first steps as toddlers, falling is a given. It's not a sign of weakness, but a sign of effort. Picture a child learning to walk. Each fall is met with determination to try again. As adults, however, we often label failure as shameful, something to be avoided at all costs. This perception is what limits us. The truth is, failure is the bridge between where you are now and where you aspire to be. Without it, there's no opportunity for growth. Every successful individual has faced failure, sometimes repeatedly, before achieving their goals. Understanding this can liberate us from the fear of trying. One of the greatest myths about success is that it's achieved flawlessly, without missteps or errors. But no one reaches the pinnacle of success without stumbles along the way. Imagine an artist creating a masterpiece. It's rare for the first stroke of the brush to be perfect. Similarly, failure in life allows us to refine, adjust, and recalibrate our approach. It forces us to confront our limitations and discover strengths we never knew existed. When we fail, life presents us with lessons that no classroom can offer. Each failure, big or small, carries with it an opportunity to learn. Whether it's a failed business, a missed goal, or a personal setback, every instance teaches resilience, patience, and problem solving. In many ways, failure is life's way of preparing us for bigger challenges ahead. The more we embrace this mindset, the more we can extract value from every setback. Think about how evolution works. Nature experiments constantly, with species adapting to their environments through countless generations of trial and error. The same principle applies to our lives. Failures are experiments. They're attempts to find what works and what doesn't. When something fails, it simply means that method wasn't the right fit. It's not a reflection of our worth or ability. It's part of the process of refinement. Society often views failure as a mark of incompetence, but this couldn't be further from the truth. Some of the most successful entrepreneurs, athletes, and innovators were once considered failures. Their secret? They didn't stop at failing. They used failure as a stepping stone, a necessary ingredient in their journey. Success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about learning to navigate through it. Failure is often viewed as the end of the road, but in reality, it's just a detour. Changing your perspective on failure is like adjusting the lens through which you see the world. What appears as an insurmountable obstacle can transform into a valuable lesson when approached with the right mindset. Consider this: every setback carries within it a hidden opportunity to grow, innovate, or redirect your path. It's not about the fall itself, but how you rise and what you learn along the way. When faced with failure, the natural instinct is to feel defeated, but reframing the experience can make all the difference. Imagine a sculptor working on a block of marble. Each mistake, each misplaced chip is not the end of the work, but a chance to adjust and refine the masterpiece. Similarly, failures in life often carve away what isn't needed, revealing the potential beneath. By shifting your perspective, you stop seeing failure as a final verdict and start seeing it as a critical part of the creative process. Failures often carry the seeds of innovation. Think of moments in history when mistakes led to groundbreaking discoveries. The invention of penicillin, for example, came from a failed experiment. What if the scientists had dismissed that failure as useless? The lesson here is clear. Every failure presents a chance to uncover something new, whether it's a better method, a new approach, or even a completely different direction. By training yourself to look for lessons in setbacks, you open doors to possibilities you might otherwise miss. Changing your perspective also requires you to let go of the fear of judgment. Too often, we let the opinions of others dictate how we interpret our failures. Instead of seeing them as opportunities for growth, we label them as embarrassing or shameful. But the truth is, those who judge are rarely the ones who take risks themselves. The greatest achievers in any field are those who embrace failure openly, learning from it, and moving forward. By shifting your focus from external validation to internal progress, you reclaim control over your narrative. One of the most profound lessons hidden in setbacks is the value of persistence. Failure teaches you the importance of trying again, often with more insight and determination. It's like planting a seed and watching it fail to sprout. Instead of giving up, you adjust. Maybe the soil needs more nutrients, or the seed needs a different climate. Over time, with the right adjustments, that seed will grow. Life operates on the same principle. Each failure provides feedback, and each attempt brings you closer to success. Reframing failure also involves recognizing its role in building character. Success achieved without effort is often fleeting, but success born from struggle tends to last. The lessons learned during tough times become part of who you are, shaping your resilience, patience, and problem-solving abilities. Failure doesn't diminish you, it fortifies you. By choosing to view setbacks as stepping stones rather than roadblocks, you strengthen your resolve and develop the grit needed to persevere in any endeavor. Another hidden gift of failure is the opportunity to connect with others on a deeper level. When you share your setbacks, you humanize yourself, making it easier for others to relate and support you. Vulnerability builds trust and fosters collaboration. It's through shared struggles that communities and teams grow stronger. By embracing and sharing your failures, you create an environment where innovation and growth thrive. Finally, shifting your perspective on failure teaches you gratitude. When you learn to see setbacks as part of a greater journey, you begin to appreciate the process, not just the outcomes. You understand that success isn't a single destination, but a series of moments, both good and bad, that shape who you are. Gratitude for the lessons learned along the way allows you to move forward with confidence and clarity, knowing that every failure brings you closer to the person you are meant to become. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from challenges, and it's a trait that lies at the core of every success story. It's not about avoiding failure, but about developing the strength to endure and grow through it. Think of resilience as a muscle. Every setback, every disappointment, every failure is like resistance training, gradually building your ability to persevere in the face of adversity. Without these challenges, that muscle remains weak and untested. Resilience is what separates those who stumble and give up from those who stumble and rise stronger. Failure can be a harsh teacher, but resilience transforms it into a source of growth. Every time you overcome a challenge, you reinforce your belief in your ability to handle difficulties. It's like climbing a mountain. The higher you go, the more treacherous the path, but each step forward increases your confidence and endurance. By the time you reach the summit, you're not just at the top, you're also stronger, more capable, and more determined than when you started. Resilience ensures that every failure becomes part of your ascent rather than a reason to turn back. The process of building resilience begins with embracing discomfort. Setbacks often push us out of our comfort zones, forcing us to confront our fears and limitations. While it's tempting to avoid these moments, they are precisely where growth happens. Resilient people understand this and lean into discomfort instead of shying away from it. They know that challenges are not threats but opportunities to expand their capacity for handling life's inevitable ups and downs. Resilience also shapes your character by teaching you the value of patience and persistence. Success is rarely achieved overnight. It's the result of consistent effort over time. When failures occur, resilience keeps you focused on the long game. It reminds you that setbacks are temporary and that perseverance will eventually yield results. Think of a river carving through solid rock. It doesn't happen in a day, but over time, the relentless flow of water creates a path. Resilience operates in the same way, enabling you to overcome obstacles through steady, determined action. Another way resilience strengthens resolve is by fostering adaptability. Life rarely unfolds exactly as planned, and failure often requires you to pivot and adjust your approach. Resilience helps you stay flexible, finding new paths when old ones are blocked. This adaptability is a key ingredient in success, allowing you to turn obstacles into opportunities and challenges into stepping stones. Instead of being paralyzed by failure, resilient individuals see it as a chance to innovate and grow. Resilience is also deeply connected to emotional strength. Failure can be an emotional blow, bringing feelings of disappointment, frustration, or even self-doubt. But resilience teaches you to process those emotions without letting them define you. It helps you acknowledge the pain of failure while refusing to let it overshadow your potential. Over time, this emotional fortitude becomes a powerful tool, enabling you to face life's uncertainties with courage and composure. A critical aspect of resilience is self-awareness. Failure often highlights areas for improvement, and resilient individuals use these moments as opportunities for introspection. They ask themselves what went wrong, what could have been done differently, and how they can grow from the experience. This willingness to learn and adapt strengthens their resolve, making them better equipped to handle future challenges. Resilience turns every failure into a stepping stone for personal development. Resilience also fosters optimism, the belief that no matter how tough things get, better days lie ahead. This mindset is not about ignoring difficulties, but about choosing to focus on the possibilities beyond them. Resilient people understand that failure is not the end of the story, but a single chapter in a much larger narrative. By maintaining a positive outlook, they stay motivated to keep moving forward, even when the path is uncertain. Finally, resilience builds an unshakable sense of purpose. When you face and overcome failure, you gain clarity about what truly matters to you. Resilient individuals are driven by a vision that keeps them grounded, no matter what challenges arise. They understand that setbacks are part of the journey, not the destination, and they remain committed to their goals with unwavering determination. In this way, resilience not only strengthens your resolve, but also shapes you into a person capable of achieving greatness. Behind every celebrated success lies a story of struggle, mistakes, and most importantly, perseverance. The world's greatest achievements were not born from effortless triumph, but from individuals who face failure head-on and use it as a foundation for their success. Failure, in these stories, is not a detour. It is the very road that leads to greatness. Understanding this truth allows us to see setbacks not as barriers, but as stepping stones to achieving our own goals. Consider the countless examples of innovators and creators who turned failure into a catalyst for success. Thomas Edison, famously known for inventing the light bulb, conducted thousands of experiments before finding the right combination. When asked about his failures, he responded that he didn't fail. He simply discovered thousands of ways that didn't work. Edison's story teaches us that failure isn't the end of the road. It's part of the journey to discovery and innovation. In the world of business, failure is a recurring theme in the biographies of entrepreneurs who built empires. Take the story of a young entrepreneur who faced bankruptcy before his idea of an amusement park revolutionized the entertainment industry. His vision for a place where families could enjoy magical experiences didn't succeed initially. He faced rejection from investors, skepticism from peers, and financial struggles. Yet his persistence led to one of the most iconic brands in the world. The lesson here is that failure often precedes the breakthrough moments that define success. Even in sports, where the margin for error is slim, failure is an essential part of the journey. Some of the greatest athletes in history faced repeated losses before achieving glory. The legendary basketball player who missed thousands of shots throughout his career once said that his failures were the reason he succeeded. These stories show us that resilience, determination, and a willingness to learn from mistakes are what separate the good from the great. Failure also plays a pivotal role in the arts and entertainment industry. Many actors, musicians, and writers were initially rejected, criticized, or ignored before finding their audience. The writer whose manuscript was rejected dozens of times before becoming a bestseller reminds us that persistence is key. Rejection doesn't diminish the value of your work. It's often a sign that you're pushing boundaries and striving for something extraordinary. What unites these stories is a shared belief in the transformative power of failure. These individuals didn't see failure as a verdict on their abilities, but as feedback, a signal that something needed to change. Whether it was their approach, strategy, or mindset, they embraced failure as an opportunity to grow, refine their skills, and build resilience. Their stories remind us that success is not a straight path, but a winding road filled with lessons learned from every misstep. A common thread in these narratives is the courage to keep going despite the fear of failure. Courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means moving forward in spite of it. These individuals face criticism, doubt, and sometimes ridicule, but they refuse to let those setbacks define them. Their stories inspire us to do the same, to see every failure as a step closer to our goals, not a step away from them. Another key lesson from these stories is the importance of vision. Successful individuals don't let failure blur their vision of the future. They stay focused on their goals, using each setback as motivation to work harder and smarter. This unwavering commitment to their dreams is what ultimately sets them apart. It's a reminder that success is not about avoiding failure, but about staying true to your purpose, no matter how difficult the journey becomes. Finally, these stories teach us that failure is universal. It doesn't discriminate based on talent, background, or ambition. Everyone fails at some point, but those who succeed are the ones who refuse to let failure be the final chapter. They write their stories with resilience, determination, and a belief in the possibility of a better tomorrow. By learning from their experiences, we can find the strength to persevere through our own challenges and create success from the foundation of our failures. Success and failure are not fixed states. They are shaped by how we perceive and respond to life's challenges. At the heart of this dynamic is the concept of a growth mindset, the belief that abilities, intelligence, and talents can be developed through dedication, effort, and learning. Adopting a growth mindset allows you to view failure not as a personal shortcoming, but as an opportunity for growth. It's this mindset that transforms failure into a powerful tool for achieving success. A growth mindset begins with the understanding that failure is not permanent. It's easy to feel defeated when things don't go as planned, but those with a growth mindset recognize that failure is just one moment in a larger journey. Instead of seeing it as a final verdict, they see it as a stepping stone, a chance to reevaluate, adapt, and try again. This shift in perspective is what separates those who stagnate from those who thrive. Central to a growth mindset is the ability to ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of dwelling on the negative aspects of failure, individuals with a growth mindset focus on the lessons it provides. Every setback becomes an opportunity to gain insight, whether it's identifying a flaw in a plan, discovering a skill gap, or realizing the need for a different approach. These lessons not only guide future efforts, but also build confidence in one's ability to navigate challenges. Adopting a growth mindset also means embracing effort as a path to mastery. People with a fixed mindset often avoid challenges because they fear failure will reveal their limitations. In contrast, those with a growth mindset view effort as essential to progress. They understand that skills and talents are not innate, but are cultivated through practice and persistence. This belief empowers them to keep pushing forward, even when the road is difficult, knowing that every effort brings them closer to their goals. Failure also becomes less intimidating when viewed through the lens of curiosity. A growth mindset encourages you to approach challenges with an open mind, asking questions like, why didn't this work? And what could I do differently next time? This curiosity transforms failure into a puzzle to be solved rather than a setback to be feared. It shifts the focus from what went wrong to what can be improved, creating a sense of progress even in the face of obstacles. Another key aspect of a growth mindset is resilience. People with this mindset understand that failure is not a reflection of their worth, but a natural part of growth. They don't take setbacks personally or let them define their self-esteem. Instead, they view each challenge as an opportunity to strengthen their resolve. This resilience not only helps them overcome individual failures, but also prepares them to handle future challenges with greater confidence and composure. Adopting a growth mindset also involves reframing how you define success. Instead of measuring success solely by outcomes, individuals with a growth mindset value the process, the effort, learning, and improvement that come from pursuing a goal. This perspective makes failure less daunting because it's no longer seen as the opposite of success, but as an integral part of it. By focusing on growth rather than perfection, you allow yourself to take risks and explore new possibilities without the fear of failure holding you back. A practical way to cultivate a growth mindset is to celebrate progress, no matter how small. Recognizing the steps you've taken, even if they haven't yet led to your desired outcome, reinforces the belief that you are capable of growth. This practice builds momentum and motivation, encouraging you to keep moving forward despite setbacks. Over time, these small victories compound, leading to significant achievements that might have seemed impossible at the outset. Finally, a growth mindset fosters a sense of empowerment. When you believe in your ability to learn and improve, you take control of your own destiny. Failure no longer feels like something that happens to you. It becomes something you can use to your advantage. This empowerment fuels a cycle of continuous improvement, where each challenge becomes an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. Failure in itself doesn't guarantee growth. What truly matters is how you reflect on and learn from it. Reflection is the process of stepping back, analyzing your experiences, and extracting valuable lessons from setbacks. It's not about dwelling on mistakes, but about understanding what went wrong, why it happened, and how to improve. Reflection turns failure into a powerful teacher, offering insights that are crucial for personal and professional development. The first step in effective reflection is creating space for introspection. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to move from one task to the next without pausing to consider the bigger picture. However, growth requires moments of stillness, time to examine your actions, decisions, and outcomes. When you experience failure, resist the urge to bury it under busyness or distractions. Instead, give yourself the time and mental clarity to reflect on what happened and why. Reflection involves asking meaningful questions. Why did this happen? Were there warning signs I missed? Could I have approached the situation differently? These questions aren't meant to place blame, but to uncover patterns and behaviors that may have contributed to the outcome. The goal is to identify areas for improvement while acknowledging external factors that may have been outside your control. This balanced perspective prevents you from becoming overly self-critical while ensuring you take responsibility for your role in the situation. Another key aspect of reflection is distinguishing between controllable and uncontrollable factors. Not every failure is entirely within your power to prevent. External circumstances, timing, or the actions of others can all influence outcomes. By identifying what you can and cannot control, you can focus your energy on improving the aspects that are within your reach. This approach not only fosters a sense of empowerment, but also reduces the frustration that comes from trying to change what's beyond your influence. Reflection also requires honesty. It's tempting to downplay your role in a failure or to shift blame onto others, but true growth comes from confronting your shortcomings. Honesty allows you to see the full picture, including mistakes or blind spots you may have overlooked. While this can be uncomfortable, it's a necessary step in building self-awareness and preventing similar failures in the future. Embracing this level of accountability demonstrates maturity and a commitment to continuous improvement. Journaling is a practical tool for reflection. Writing about your experiences forces you to articulate your thoughts clearly, helping you make sense of complex emotions and situations. A journal becomes a safe space to explore your failures, document your insights, and track your progress over time. By revisiting past entries, you can see how far you've come, reinforcing the belief that failure is part of the journey toward growth. Feedback from others can also play a crucial role in reflection. While self-analysis is important, outside perspectives can provide insights you might not have considered. Seek input from trusted mentors, colleagues, or friends who can offer constructive criticism and alternative viewpoints. This external feedback helps you see blind spots, refine your strategies, and approach challenges with a broader understanding. Reflection is not just about analyzing the past. It's about planning for the future. Once you've identified the lessons from a failure, the next step is to apply them. Create an actionable plan to address the areas you've identified for improvement. This might involve acquiring new skills, adopting different strategies, or seeking support where needed. The act of turning insights into actions ensures that your reflection leads to tangible growth. It's also important to reflect on your progress over time. As you navigate new challenges, take moments to look back and appreciate how far you've come. This retrospective reflection reinforces the idea that failure is a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. It allows you to celebrate your resilience, recognize patterns of improvement, and build confidence in your ability to overcome obstacles. Finally, reflection fosters gratitude. When you take the time to learn from failure, you begin to see it not as a negative experience, but as a necessary part of growth. Gratitude shifts your mindset, allowing you to appreciate the opportunities that failure provides. It transforms setbacks into moments of clarity and growth, empowering you to face future challenges with courage and optimism. Fear of failure is one of the most powerful barriers to success. It paralyzes action, stifles creativity, and keeps people stuck in their comfort zones. But what if this fear could be transformed into a driving force for achievement? The key lies in understanding that failure itself isn't the enemy. It's the fear of it that holds us back. When you learn to reframe failure as a motivator rather than a threat, you unlock the courage and determination needed to pursue your goals with unwavering focus. The first step in overcoming the fear of failure is recognizing its source. Fear often stems from the unknown, the uncertainty of what might happen if things don't go as planned. This uncertainty can create anxiety, making the potential for failure seem much worse than it actually is. However, when you confront this fear and examine it closely, you often find that it's exaggerated. By breaking down your fear into specific concerns, you can address each one and reduce its power over you. One way to reframe fear is to view it as a signal of opportunity. Fear often arises when you're stepping outside your comfort zone, an essential part of growth. If you're not feeling some level of fear, you're likely not challenging yourself enough. Instead of avoiding situations that trigger fear, see them as signs that you're pushing your boundaries and moving closer to your goals. This shift in perspective turns fear into a positive force that propels you forward. Taking small, calculated risks is another powerful way to diminish the fear of failure. When you take action, even in small ways, you begin to prove to yourself that failure is manageable. Each step builds confidence and demonstrates that even if things don't go perfectly, you have the resilience to try again. Over time, this practice helps you view failure not as a catastrophe, but as a natural part of the learning process. Visualization is a powerful tool for overcoming fear. Instead of fixating on the worst-case scenario, visualize the best possible outcome. Picture yourself achieving your goals and succeeding in your efforts. This positive mental rehearsal not only builds confidence, but also helps you focus on the rewards of taking action rather than the risks of failure. By consistently visualizing success, you rewire your brain to associate action with possibility rather than fear. It's also crucial to redefine what failure means to you. For many, failure is synonymous with inadequacy or defeat, but this is a narrow and limiting view. Failure is simply a result, a piece of feedback that shows what didn't work. By separating your self-worth from your outcomes, you free yourself from the fear of failure. You begin to see it as a necessary step in the journey towards success, not a judgment on your abilities or character. Another effective strategy for overcoming fear is to focus on the bigger picture. Fear often magnifies the immediate consequences of failure, making them seem all-encompassing. But when you zoom out and consider your long-term goals, you realize that a single setback is just one chapter in a much larger story. Keeping this perspective helps you move past short-term fears and stay focused on your ultimate vision. Surrounding yourself with a supportive network can also make a significant difference. Fear of failure is often amplified by the pressure of judgment from others. However, when you're surrounded by people who encourage you and believe in your potential, their support can help you face challenges with greater confidence. These individuals remind you that failure doesn't define you, and that every attempt, successful or not, is a step toward growth. Failure can also become a source of motivation when you embrace the idea of failing forward. This concept involves viewing each failure as a step closer to success, rather than a step back. When you adopt this mindset, every setback becomes an opportunity to learn, adjust, and improve. Instead of fearing failure, you begin to see it as an essential part of progress, fueling your determination to keep moving forward. Finally, overcoming the fear of failure requires a commitment to action. Fear thrives in inaction, feeding on doubt and hesitation. The more you delay, the stronger your fear becomes. But when you take decisive steps toward your goals, you break the cycle of fear and inertia. Action creates momentum, and momentum builds confidence. Each time you face your fear and move forward despite it, you weaken its hold on you and strengthen your belief in your ability to succeed. The concept of failing forward is not about avoiding failure, but about using it as a springboard for growth and progress. A resilient future isn't built on perfection or the absence of setbacks. It's constructed through a series of missteps, lessons learned, and the determination to keep moving forward. Failing forward means viewing every failure as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block, a tool to propel you closer to your goals with each attempt. At its core, failing forward is about embracing progress over perfection. In life, the pursuit of perfection often leads to paralysis, where the fear of making a mistake prevents you from taking any action at all. However, failing forward shifts the focus from being flawless to being persistent. Every small step, even those that result in failure, contributes to your growth and brings you closer to success. It's the accumulation of these efforts, rather than a single perfect moment, that ultimately leads to achievement. To build a resilient future, you must first adopt a long-term perspective. In the grand scheme of life, failures are fleeting, while the lessons they teach have lasting value. Failing forward requires you to zoom out and see setbacks as temporary occurrences on a much larger journey. This perspective helps you maintain your motivation and reminds you that success is not defined by any single failure, but by your ability to keep moving forward despite challenges. A key aspect of failing forward is the willingness to take risks. No meaningful progress is made without stepping into the unknown and accepting the possibility of failure. When you take risks, you open yourself up to new opportunities, experiences, and growth. Failing forward doesn't mean taking reckless risks, but rather calculated ones, where you weigh potential outcomes and make informed decisions. Even when risks don't pay off, the experience gained is invaluable and prepares you for future opportunities. Another crucial component of failing forward is adaptability. In a rapidly changing world, the ability to pivot and adjust your approach is essential for resilience. Failure often reveals what doesn't work, providing you with the information needed to refine your strategy. By staying flexible and open to change, you can turn setbacks into opportunities to innovate and find better paths forward. Adaptability ensures that failure becomes a catalyst for improvement rather than a dead end. Failing forward also requires a commitment to continuous learning. Each failure is an opportunity to expand your knowledge, skills, and understanding. Whether it's identifying gaps in your abilities, gaining new insights, or developing creative solutions, learning from failure is what allows you to grow stronger with each attempt. This mindset transforms failure from a source of frustration into a powerful teacher that equips you for future challenges. Resilience is deeply tied to the relationships you build. A resilient future is often supported by a network of people who believe in your potential and encourage you to keep going. These individuals, mentors, friends, colleagues, or family members offer guidance, perspective, and encouragement when setbacks occur. Failing forward doesn't mean going it alone. It means leaning on your support system and drawing strength from their belief in your ability to succeed. To fail forward, you must also cultivate self-compassion. Failure can bring feelings of disappointment, frustration, or even self-doubt, but resilience requires you to treat yourself with kindness and understanding. Instead of harshly criticizing yourself for mistakes, acknowledge the effort you put in and recognize that failure is part of the journey. Self-compassion fosters a positive mindset, helping you recover more quickly and maintain the confidence needed to keep moving forward. A resilient future is also built on the habit of setting incremental goals. Instead of focusing solely on the ultimate outcome, break your objectives into smaller, achievable steps. Each small win builds momentum and reinforces your belief in your ability to succeed, even when setbacks occur. This incremental approach allows you to celebrate progress along the way, making the journey more rewarding and sustainable. Finally, failing forward is about creating a mindset that welcomes challenges and sees them as opportunities for growth. It's about cultivating resilience, not just in response to failure, but as a proactive approach to life. When you embrace failure as an integral part of success, you free yourself from the fear of making mistakes and gain the courage to pursue your dreams with confidence and determination. This mindset empowers you to face the future with optimism, knowing that every failure brings you closer to achieving your goals.